Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Well, whatever.
How about this, Cowboys?
What's going on, everybody out there, Cowboys Nation? It is another episode of the Jersey Boyz Podcast. Your host, of course, Dave Sturchio, alongside nationally known comedian Bret, Ernst, and, of course, the Grinch, none other than America's fan, Keith Ernst. Fellas, for the first time in what feels like forever, the Dallas Cowboys lost a football game over the weekend. Riding high going in. Bret's dying. Riding high going into it. Obviously, Keith was on the money as far as saying that he thinks this is the one they're going to lose. The Cowboys drop one. A lot to get into with that. A lot to get into with the playoff picture. Last night's game with Seattle and Philadelphia kind of make things a little easier. Not easier, but just easier on the heart, I guess. And then, of course, the Miami game coming up. We're going to cover all that today. Keith, we'll start with you. You had the Cowboys losing. Does anything shock you out of Sunday's outcome?
Well, it's funny that you say I just had the Cowboys losing. I had them losing by double digits.
You did?
I did. I had the score 31-17.
Okay.
It was 31-10.
Okay.
I went back and listened to the predictions again. And it's just funny, like how fucking I nailed that game to a T. And little Sturch, I understand you. I get you because you're little Sturch. All right. I'm so surprised at my brother, though. He should know better. He should fucking.
I just did it for entertainment purposes.
I'll tell you what, entertainment purposes isn't being a homer, dude. It's not being a homer. It's going with your gut, and it's almost really telling the truth. So, but regardless, yeah, with that game, I would say that, and it's funny because I went back and listened, and when you asked me. And you had a legit question, Starts. That's what I love. It was a legit one. You're like, and I went because I watched the video too, the long, and your eyes get big on me.
You're the one.
And you're like, well, how? How are they going to lose? How? Explain to me how. And it was a really good question, and you had me flustered because I said we're the better team. We're just going to lose.
I stand by that still.
Yeah, so do I. Okay. I said we're the better team even before I gave my prediction. I said we're the better team, but we're going to lose. Wrong time, wrong place, wrong atmosphere. I brought up, and if you go back and listen, I go, James Cook, I brought him up, and you go, yeah, he's a good running back. And I go, I see bad calls. I see no breaks going our way, and I see turnovers. We only had one turnover, so sorry, I got that fucking part wrong. But everything else, it's hard to predict an upset when you know the team is better than the other one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's very hard. So I meant, and everything happened, and it was so similar to the 49er game by giving them second fucking chances on third downs. It was driving me crazy with those penalties. Now, what's crazy is I think they only had 4 or 5 penalties. Buffalo, that's it. Did you know that?
Yeah, I watched.
I'm sorry. We had 5 penalties against them. They had only 1 against us. They were only penalized once, Buffalo. Yeah, that's it. Isn't that fucking crazy?
That is kind of.
No, and it was that late hit on Dak that should have fucking the second one that guy should have got ejected, dude.
Yeah, I mean they suspended former Cowboy DeMonte Casey for the rest of the year on a hit that he made as a Steeler the other day.
Dude, but if you go back and watch that rough, and he launches, and afterwards he's fucking laughing about it. He's laughing about it. It's almost like they knew what they were going to do because the first one that got called back, we could talk about that with Zach Martin, by the way. I don't want to talk about that right now. But the point I'm trying to make, but we were only penalized 5 times, but it felt like we were penalized like 10 or 12.
It's when the penalties happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So instead of saying we were penalized 5 times for 55 yards, I would say we were penalized 5 times for 21 points.
100%.
You get what I'm saying?
The game played out completely different. And I'm not saying the Cowboys would have won the game because it looks like they were kind of just non-existent offensively as well. But it wouldn't have been the way it was.
Yeah, but it's momentum, Sturch. It's momentum. I mean,
I'm a firm believer in momentum. Some other people on other networks don't believe in momentum. I do.
Of course. And I'll say right now, McCarthy, go ahead. Paul McCartney. McCarthy could be the worst coach I've ever seen at fucking challenging. This happens at least once every 5 games with him. He just doesn't know when to. I don't give a fuck if they rushed a review. Use your fucking head. The player's saying it is. They're trying to get to the line. What do you have to lose? Throw the damn challenge flag.
Yeah, 3 timeouts going into that, too.
Yeah.
So you lose a timeout, no big deal.
Exactly. He did that against the Niners. Remember when the McCaffrey fumble that went out of bounds? Remember that? Same thing. So I meant, I just don't. Anyways, so go ahead. I'm done ranting, and I'll jump in later again. But
yeah, of course, Bret. Nothing seemed to be clicking for the Cowboys at all. Dak was a little out of sorts. Played not a good game. Right? Nobody can get open. I just felt like time of possession just felt like I felt like we never had the ball. You know what I mean? Like, and when we did, it was down points already. I don't know. Your analysis, quick analysis before we kind of break it all down of what you saw Sunday in the loss against Buffalo.
Undisciplined. The key thing he said was the penalties. It's when they call them, and it's not even about momentum. It's about fucking taking a breath. When you're stopping a team on 3rd down, and now you're giving them a fucking 1st down. Your defense is tired, man. I mean, that shit's exhausting. I mean, we're not just talking about a psychological momentum. We're talking about actual physical exhaustion.
Right.
That's true.
The challenge that the fumble, I mean, I was screaming at the fucking TV with over 100-degree temperature. I'm like, challenge the fucking fumble. Why wouldn't you challenge that? Do you understand that you're talking about momentum? That now gives us the ball, takes points away from them on that drive, and it's a different ball game. I don't understand that guy with these fucking challenges. It makes no sense whatsoever. But we played very sloppy, undisciplined football. We just weren't there. Look, in Dallas's defense, I think what everything he said is we are the better team. But you got to remember, after that Eagles loss, we consistently we had a 7-8 game run of, that gets exhausting getting up for every game. And we all figured we were going to lose one of these. I think it'd be Buffalo. I would probably bet Miami more than Buffalo, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's just hope we win outright. That's my question though, Sturch. If we all win outright, do we still get the division?
No.
Well, hold on, bro. You didn't see what I sent?
You sent something, and then my old man sent me a text as well.
Go ahead.
That it's breaking down where the margin. The margin of strength of victory isn't that far off, and it really would determine the last 3 weeks. I don't really know how it all kind of not so much works, but like I can't believe, just in general speak, I can't believe it would come down to the fucking 5th fucking tiebreaker or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's crazy because it's like, oh yeah, we beat the Jets, they lost to the Jets. We beat the Seahawks, they lost to the Seahawks. We both lost to the Niners. Who did they beat? They beat the Bills. We lost to the Bills. You're right. So it's all just neck and neck down the whole stretch. And it's just crazy, but staying on this Bills game for just a little bit more.
Well, hold on, really quick. Let me respond to that, Sturch.
Sure.
So, bro, what it is, if you look, like, all right. So, basically, it's the strength of victory. Okay, by their record. So, with us, we beat Carolina, right?
Which doesn't matter for shit.
Doesn't matter, but they have 2 wins. So that's how the points go. Now, if Carolina wins the next 3 games. That can play in our favor.
It shifts stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so it could shift.
Oh,
so you see what I mean? So that's how they're doing it. That's how the strength.
Which is again mind-boggling.
They lost. So it doesn't go by losses; it goes by wins.
Yes,
and the strength of the wins, yeah.
Yeah, strength
and
of
like,
the wins, exactly.
Who did you beat? Remember the narrative and the rhetoric going around Dallas didn't beat nobody. That works to our disadvantage when it comes to the 4th or 5th tiebreaker for the division title, which again, mind-blowing that it's coming down to that. Maybe it might come down to that. One disagreement we had on the group chat while the game was going on was one of the hits on Dak Prescott. Look, there was a time a couple years back in 2020 where I believe Andy Dalton took a slide, got rocked to the next portal of man, and nobody did nothing about it. And we're all just like, what the fuck? Like, where's our squad? Where's the guys caping up for him? So here comes Zach Martin after Dak gets launched into oblivion. Zach Martin comes over there, doesn't even like extend his arms. He basically chest bumps a 180-pound dude, and he goes flying into the sidelines, which negates the penalty, and the whole thing is flipped. We get, and here's my argument, is that yes, it's a dumb thing in that moment, but then the following play, they gain 13, 14 yards on a CeeDee Lamb slant. Now, Keith's argument to that was that would have been in the red zone had there not been a negated penalty. I am team Zach Martin on this one. I don't believe in letting your quarterback get slugged around like that, not in this big of a game. You guys are on that was a dumb move, and so is your boy Nick Eaton.
No. This is what you're confusing, okay? You're confusing the hits, all right? When that Andy Dalton was against the Washington Redskins, I remember that like yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was also different because, that team was going down on a downward spiral.
Sure.
I mean, they were getting torn apart by Antonio Gibson. And it just was an awful game. Right. Now, going back to this one, and this is what bothers me. It's almost this trigger thing that society has. And there's not just with this late hit. It's almost like, I'm trying to think of a good reference that's not a late hit, that when something happens, people think they have to react right away without thinking about it first. Okay?
Maybe like a celebrity death.
Or how about something like a slang, like let's say the N-word.
It's always racism with you.
I'm just saying. No, hear me out here.
All right.
It's a fucking awful word. All right.
Sure.
It should never be said, especially by a white person. And anybody that says, oh, well, if black people can say it, I can say it too. No, it's not how it works. It is part of our history, an ugly part of history of America. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. But I saw a video with this fucking old white man who's probably has dementia that used the word, and these black dudes jumped him and beat the fuck out of this guy. Okay. That's the triggering effect though. Instead of sitting back and saying, yo, that's wrong, and looking at the situation. Okay. Why I'm comparing this is, and bro, I don't know if you see where I'm going with this. He doesn't. So, all right. So if you look when Zach Martin,
society is more like just keep going.
So when you look at whenever there's a late hit now, right away, no matter what happens, not only is there a flag,
not even a flag, but people are gesturing. Throw the
they're doing that,
flag,
and then the offense line automatically attacks. It's like they have to do that now. Now with that particular one, Dak got up and he went like. He was fine. There was no need for Zach Martin to get triggered like that. There's absolutely no need for that. Now, if he was laid out or hurt, that would make way more sense. But he was okay. It's almost like, okay, now I have to do this because this happened. And this is what everyone's expecting, like little Sturch is expecting me to do this. Now, if you go back to the other one where they launched, that's a different story. Now, that one I think maybe should have maybe had some pushing or shoving on the launch one, because that was a bad one, dude.
Yeah, but look,
the launch one was a bad.
I don't think Zach Martin, in that frame of mind, in that moment in time, is wondering, is my quarterback going to get up or not? It's like you did it, and you did it right in front of the and like now I'm coming for you, bro. You don't do that. Like you don't hit the in a league now where the quarterbacks are basically wearing flags. You know what I mean? You can't do shit to them.
But he skimmed them though. That's what I'm trying to say. It wasn't that bad.
He got fucking rocked. What are you talking about?
He did not get rocked on that.
Can I fucking talk now? This thing's been going for almost 15 minutes. I've said 1 minute worth of shit. First off,
sorry.
It was stupid, but the guy definitely flopped. Right. So everything what was crazy about that whole play, everything looked worse than it really was throughout from beginning to end. So for instance, Dak slid, the kid went to hit him, but he really just scraped him. Dak got up and was like, yo, what the fuck? We got the penalty. When Zach Martin ran over, he was like, yo, fuck you. And he barely touched the guy. And then the guy flopped. And then we got another penalty. And so everything was pantomime from beginning to end. It looked like the whole thing was pantomime.
It was like a bad pro wrestling match.
Yeah, it was fucking awful.
Well, that's as bad as
Zach needs to think, and I think what my brother's analogy was about intent, right? So, like, if he really took his fucking head off, and then there was it looked like Zach was reacting because he felt he had to react.
Exactly.
As opposed to, really reacting, because it was a little delayed,
I mean, it took him a little while to get over there.
Yeah, but I mean, Dak was fine. He got up. We were getting the flag. It just get back to the huddle. Look, that whole game, none of our guys were in it, man. None of them. Mentally, it was just dumb.
Who does that
sloppy.
fall on, Bret? Who does that fall on, Bret?
You know what? It falls on anything. I mean, look, man, I'm very, very, I'm a very well prepared comedian, and I did 15 shows in a fucking row. It's hard to get up for 15 shows, and sometimes, the audience. I mean, there's a lot of shit that comes into play, and you give it your all, but sometimes you're like, I need a break. And, dude, look, Dallas has been on a strong fucking run. Now, it's a shame we didn't win this game because, with the Eagles losing, it would have breathed life into the next fucking 3 games. But, the fact that we clinched already, we had a very emotional, strong win with Philly, and Dallas is tired, man. I mean, look, dude, they've been playing fucking hard. And sometimes you have these types of games, bro. It's now, coaching.
But you credit, I was just going to say, do you put any of this on the coaching staff, like McCarthy not getting his boys up for this?
No, I meant, look, I mean, you're in the NFL, you're a professional. You know what's going on, man. You don't need somebody to tell you. I mean, as far as maybe as the game plan goes, but like
game plan was terrible.
Yeah, it was fucking awful. So yeah, I mean, that's where he dropped the ball. But
no, remember I told you guys
the players weren't playing great anyways. Like even that pass Ferguson, I remember the fucking drive Ferguson dropped a beautiful pass. I mean, everybody was dropping balls. Fucking, they were just off, man, and it happens.
Keith, do you look at this as a glad it happened in the middle of December type moment where now it's like rally back, let's go. This is what you need. Because look, just to put like a whole spin on it, 49ers dropped 3 games in a row, but they didn't have Debo. They didn't have Trent Williams. Brock was banged up, right? Then they come back, and now they're world beaters. Everybody thinks that nobody can stop them, right? The Eagles now are in the midst of a 3-game losing streak where now Jalen Hurts is calling out his team saying, we don't want it bad enough, blah, blah, blah. Like the Cowboys, and I did the research yesterday just to make sure I was right, they haven't lost back-to-back games since the middle of 21. So it's been a long time since they lost back-to-back games. Is this a better wake-up call now before the legitimate last 3 games of the season and into the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I knew and I texted this too, by the way. This was the same weekend we lost to Jacksonville.
And you want to hear something funny? And I saw this because I go back and look at my statuses from a year ago every morning. I just make sure I didn't post any dumb shit in like 2011, which by the way, definitely did. So I had to delete a lot of shit. But what I did post last year on this day was that the Cowboys clinched the playoff spot before the game was played.
There, see, I
meant that fucking thing happened crazy, where we just didn't get up.
What I was saying, it's almost like the same thing, Now the difference here is the Jacksonville game we should have won.
Sure.
I meant we gave that up in overtime. Noah Brown's drop ball.
And now he's a fucking all pro.
This game was just, bro. And if you saw, I kept bringing up Greg Bell in the text.
Yeah, I didn't really.
Because you remember what I said last.
Oh, the guy who ran all over the place.
And guess what? I went and looked it up again. He had 196 yards rushing against us. This guy had 170.
I don't remember shit, and I remember that game.
I know you awful. What I'm saying, though, was almost the same thing. James Cook did exactly what Greg Bell did.
This looked like the 2018 playoffs against the Rams.
Yeah. This one here, though, the offensive part was even more shocking to me. I'm sorry. I know this team goes through our defense, but having 90 yards going into the fourth quarter, that's some New York Jet shit right there, bro. That's like,
well, that's the one thing I wanted to bring up, man, is the way we lost is disturbing. And that not disturbing, is
discouraging.
Is what's the word I'm looking for?
Discouraging.
Makes me worry. Discouraging, yeah. If it was a close game, we did not play like the number 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, 6, 7 seed in the NFC, man. I mean, and that self-destruction, I mean, that was to me worse than the fucking Arizona game. And I don't know. I knew. I mean, look, there's a lot of things I do too for jinxing. I thought we'd pull this one out, right? I thought it'd be close, but I mean, dude, we got dominated in all aspects of the game. I mean, from the coaching to defense to everything, and go like he said, 90 yards going into the fourth quarter. What the fuck, man?
Did you see the last time that happened?
When was that? When was that? 44-0?
2010 against Green Bay. And guess what happened after that game?
Jason Garrett got fired.
No, Wade Phillips got fired.
And then they gave it to Jason
Garrett.
And
then they gave it to Garrett.
Yeah,
that was a Sunday night game. Remember, it was like 44-3, and it was awful. Romo was injured. But that was comparable to it.
Like McCarthy against us.
Yeah, crazy, right? Now he's on the other side of it.
I haven't seen. I mean, we saw the Eagles lose like that to the Niners and to us, kind of. But I mean, we haven't seen it. I'm saying though. I mean,
now is there something to be said about? I don't know, man. Is there something to be said? And Keith said, he gave me the MVP because of who I had to watch the game around.
That's got to be hard, dude.
Tough scene. I like my intimate, watching the game with my old man, my brother, stepmom, the intimate family. This was a Hanukkah celebration. I'm not Jewish, but my stepmom is, so it was a massive get together. So it was very hard for me to watch this game and even hear it. But I took it good because of the fact that it's almost like a laugher. Like once you realize that things aren't going your way, meaning as soon as D-Law got penalized for the roughing the passer, as soon as we tried to block a punt and Sam Williams roughs the punter, it's almost as if I'm sitting there like, all right, look, this is just not the day. It ain't going to be the day. I'd much rather that happen and them scrap the whole fucking thing than sit there and get our hearts ripped out at the last second and say, well, we should have won. But
see, you're thinking as a fan. You're not thinking as a general manager.
100%.
No.
I am thinking as a fan.
You're looking at a team that's 3 weeks away from going to the playoffs, right? I mean, we're at the we're supposed to be crescendoing. It's one thing to have an off game, but all of your starters, all of your players, everybody failed. Everybody got D- and Fs.
But what does this say? What does this say about the Philadelphia Eagles right now? Losers of 3 straight.
It says the same thing. It says the exact same thing. I mean, there's only one fucking Super Bowl winner. That's it. One. There's not second place is second place. So when you're looking at something as a head coach, okay, what the fuck is the goal of the season? So you're looking at teams that are picking up momentum. You're going to lose games, but it's one thing if we didn't have fucking CeeDee Lamb and, God forbid, knock on wood, I don't want to give ourselves bad luck, but we had all of our starters.
Well, Zach Martin went down.
But you know what? I mean, still, how is that injury? What did they say on that?
He should be good to go for Sunday.
Yeah, he's going to play.
It's a contusion.
He's not going to play?
I don't think he's going to play. No. I think they're just saying that. That's just my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Again, even looking what, Kansas City, there's only going to be one fucking Super Bowl winner. Right now, it looks like the Niners.
And let's get one thing straight. Zach Martin went down, but that offensive line, they were protecting Dak, man. He had plenty of time to throw many times. And I listened to Maurice Jones-Drew on NFL Game Day, I like MJD. He's not bad.
Yeah.
But
it looks like
I don't think he really watched the game because They're like,
no, he never does. None of those guys ever do.
But he's like, what do you think of the Cowboys? He's like, they can't run the ball. And because he's just going off of a narrative that has been true. But I don't think he was watching that game because Pollard's running that fucking ball right now. You know who's not running that well is Rico Dowdle. I'm not going to lie. He's lost a little burst because he's been getting hit. But I would say right now, Pollard is I mean, he's balling. I like how he's running, and I like how our rushing attack, believe it or not, it looks a lot better than it did 3 or 4 weeks ago. But I want to address the defense, okay? I know everyone's talking about D linemen. Our linebackers, I went back and watched the condensed version. And pretty much the first half. I couldn't watch the second. Sorry.
How the fuck see, that's the thing. That's another thing.
I'll
watch the condensed version of a win 80 times. On a loss, I can't watch it.
I wanted to see our defense, and I wanted to see our linebackers, okay? And Damone Clark had a fucking awful game, buddy.
He got blocked 25 yards down the field by Deion Dawkins.
And look, and he's a phenomenal football player. It's just, he's not built to be that inside linebacker, okay? What I think we need to do is put Parsons at inside linebacker. We got enough pass rushers. We don't need another one. He can still blitz every now and then. We got Fowler. We got Lawrence. We got people. Put him in the middle. He will stop that fucking run. I'm telling you right now. He'll be one of the first people through a hole to get somebody. I mean, you have to put your best players where they need to go.
I just think he needs to be right now. I think there is a certain group of the fan base that believe that, but there's been Cowboys writers out there that have responded to people calling for that, saying he's a generational talent as a pass rusher. You can't take him out of that spot.
Great for him. Good for him. But guess what? We need help in another place right now. It's not like we don't have pass rushers.
I think in theory that's a great theory, but in reality, though, I mean that's going to put more wear and tear on that guy. That's a rough position for him to play. I mean, look, you either say, okay, you've got a generational player as a pass rusher, and him at the outside, which is still good. You put him in the middle like that, man, and that's where you played. That's a lot of wear and tear, man.
But he's a big dude, bro. He's not a. It's not like he's, Damone Clark. Trust me, it's worse on Damone Clark right now. I keep seeing Tony Dorsett 20 yards downfield making a tackle.
No, but I know. I see the 33. I really hate these number things. I think it sucks, man. It's, you see number fucking 33 at middle linebacker.
No, the worst is the single digits. That's what throws me off. Or the fucking kickers now that are rocking like 45.
It's like fucking JV scout team numbers.
It really is.
Can we bring something else up that really, like, Bret, you screamed about it in a text, and I was screaming at the TV, and Sturch, I believe you said something too. You're not blowing the whistle on that first fucking touchdown. His forward progress stopped. He was 3 yards back. That's bullshit, dude.
So the rule is, and my dad even said it, was that the tush push thing, you could push somebody in, but he said that in that touchdown, the guys were pulling him in and dragging him towards the end zone. That's illegal.
That's illegal too. Yes, it is.
So it's like,
right.
Yeah.
But
so it's like
it stopped though. Now I was watching the Minnesota San Diego game, week 3, and something like that happened. And I'm going to go back to the condensed, and I'm going to show you. They never blew the whistle. The Minnesota guy fumbled. San Diego picked it up and ran it for a touchdown. Without blowing the whistle, they go, because they wanted Minnesota to win in Minnesota, forward progression stopped. That's not
reviewable, by the way.
Exactly. He was stopped, dude. I mean, that should have been fucking over. It should have been over. Wait,
Keith. So they I don't remember that. So they called it. They didn't call it a fumble?
No, and I'll find it. This is in week 3, I believe it is. San Diego, Minnesota. I'll show you the clip.
Even though they didn't blow the whistle.
They didn't blow the whistle. He fumbled, but they're like, forward progression already it would already stopped anyway, so it doesn't count.
Yeah, they got to blow that whistle, man, because a lot of these players aren't going to come in for the extra shot if they don't want to get flagged for a personal foul. You know what I mean?
They actually called that this past Sunday. They called it against Josh Allen. They called it in the grass sack, and I was like, wow. I was like, I haven't seen one of those in quite some time, and I feel like, usually like, huh?
There should be more of them with
There
quarterbacks.
should be. If they're talking about player safety and shit, that's the one thing you want. All right, so what's worse? One guy taking them down or a gang tackle of 10 dudes about to fucking land on you and break every bone in your body?
And that's
like,
the
come
thing.
on.
You got someone as athletic as Josh Allen, okay, who's still on his feet and he's fucking pushing. The only way to get this guy down is to hit him hard.
Right.
And if somebody hits him hard, they're going to get a penalty. It doesn't fucking matter if they use their shoulder or whatever it is. Right. It doesn't matter anymore. Because then you're going to have the asshole on the offensive line that's going to run over and, push somebody and fucking, it's, yeah, you're trying to hurt my quarterback. I can't. Dude, there was one where Josh Allen actually ran. It was a legit tackle. And his player got up and ran and pushed oh, sorry, we tackled your quarterback, asshole. Let's just let him run down the fucking field.
He's playing like fucking Cam Newton's bitch ass, then that's the same thing. You got to treat him as such. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You want to run like a fucking grown man, you should get hit like a grown man.
I agree. So, look, Cowboys dropping to the Bills overall. Not much positive to take out of it.
I just wanted to address that point. I mean, this loss isn't concerning to you?
No, it's not as concerning as other losses would be. So, meaning, and I'm not saying because we got blown out as a fan and I'm like, oh, this one's easier on my heart. No, I feel like situationally, I'm going back to what Keith said in his prediction. It's like emotional kind of thing, the hostile environment. There was not many Cowboys fans. We didn't have much representation over there. It was a hostile environment with the Bills playing for their playoff lives.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, they lose that game, they are toast. They lose any more games going forward, they're toast. So they got to win out just to get in. And I feel like, and that's the recipe for, them just wanting it just a little bit more. So that's why I feel like, and just like to your point, Bret, you're like, the guys are tired. They've been up for, 7 games in a row and this, that, that. It's in the math. It's in the percentages that we're just not going to be that dominator every single week. And it just so happened that also, not for nothing, but the Cowboys practiced with I don't know if you saw this, but they put 8x10s of the pictures of the guys they were facing on the defensive pads that they were practicing against. Yeah. And I'm like, and the reason why they do that is because it's an unfamiliar opponent. They don't even know who's on the roster. That's how unfamiliar the Buffalo Bills are to the Cowboys. So you want to drop a game? Drop this one. You drop one to Washington or Philly, the guys that we know like the back of our hand, then it's more concerning for me. And I'm like, what the fuck? How did you not beat that team? This team, little different. Feel like uncommon opponent, hostile environment. They've been beat to shit for the last fucking 2 months. Give them a pass. I'm not saying pass like I can't believe nothing happened good. You know what I mean? But a pass to the regard of it ain't the end of the world. They're still in the playoffs. And it just happens to help that Philadelphia couldn't get the job done in Seattle last night. That's what makes this whole thing a little easier as a team. Even Jerry Jones said it on 105.3 The Fan today. He watched every single minute of that Philly game, and he's like, it was glorious. Those guys are watching that game saying, all right, now we can really put this bullshit behind us and move forward, because if we win out, there's a good fucking chance that maybe Tommy DeVito gets something done or Kyler Murray gets something done, right, and we win it by a game.
So, we got to bring something else up, all right? And Sturch, that was well said. And that's how it should have been before your prediction.
Fair.
You should have seen that before this. That's my point. And that's
I was riding the high with the cow. I was riding the roller coaster with the cow.
I know. But that is exactly why, too, I sent that text to you guys. And I was dead serious. What did I say? I said, if the Cowboys beat Buffalo in this game, what?
We're going to the Super Bowl.
We're going to the Super Bowl. I said that before this because that's how sure I was that we were going to lose that game. Now, that's what upsets me a little bit, okay, is as you could see during the game, I wanted us to win so fucking bad because I don't want that. I want to believe we have a Super Bowl team. I want to fucking believe it. So, yes, I will say I don't know if we're a Super Bowl team now. I don't. I was kind of believing it a little bit. I don't know. And I'm leaning more towards we're not after that loss because I don't if that makes sense to you. Yeah. So I mean, if we would have pulled that off in that kind of environment, that means we are truly fucking focused. We are truly not backing down. There's so many things that could have represented because they were going against so much in that game, and it was such a hard game to win, and I knew it was. I fucking knew it was going to be. And I'm not saying we still can't go to the Super Bowl, but I'm saying I would have been completely convinced, as I said in that text, is if we beat Buffalo in Buffalo, it would have been done.
I exactly what Keith said. That's where I'm at. That's why I found this so disappointing is, watching us play against the Eagles. And then, even prior to that, I mean, winning those games that we had to win and how we won, even when we lost to the Eagles, this was very concerning, man. I mean, to lose like this, it told this loss says a lot. Like right now, again, there's one team that looks focused right now, and it's the Niners. And the goal is not to get to the playoffs and fucking lose again.
Yeah, no, I understand that. And look, the conversation starts with the Niners and ends with a possibility that the Lions can sniff it, right? And outside of obviously Dallas and Philly. But it's like we're there. We're gonna be there. And I don't know, like
no. You don't. We're not saying Dallas isn't gonna look. What Keith said is perfect. If we went to Buffalo and beat the fucking dog piss out of them and played like a focused franchise at the, we're at the tail end of the season, then we could probably guarantee we're fucking serious for this. This just raises doubts. I'm not as confident that as I was 2 weeks ago.
Well, here's my counter to that is I too felt shitty after the loss, right? Drove home kind of silent, just like, man, what the fuck? Like what do we expect now?
Personal feelings aside.
No.
Putting personal feelings aside.
Fine.
Looking at this as a mathematical equation.
Fine. Watching it as a mathematical equation and seeing how they played, yeah, you feel disheartened about it. But then 24 hours later, you're the guys that you're chasing to win this division and get yourself a home game, drop one to Seattle, and you feel like, all right, if we lost and now they lose to a lesser team, another desperate team, mind you.
You're still missing the point, okay?
How am I missing the point?
Let's say I'm a fat fucking, I'm a weak 4 at best, okay? And I'm in a room full of fucking strong 2s. That doesn't mean I'm attractive. So what you're doing is you're comparing situations. You're not looking at us as just being a hot fucking chick, right? You're just saying, oh, it's the loss doesn't hurt so bad because the Eagles lost. But
that's math. That's math too, though, Bret. That's math too. The loss doesn't hurt so bad because the Eagles lost.
Okay, so basically, what you're saying is that our chances to be in third place is great.
No, our chances of being the 2 seed as the NFC East win.
We're thinking of a Super Bowl champion. Do you think that team that played against Buffalo is a Super Bowl champion team?
Yes, but they had a hiccup.
See, here's the thing. Well, you can Sturch. I will say,
where were we for the last fucking 4 or 5 weeks when we're talking?
Let me interject.
The best team we've ever seen, blah blah blah, and all of a sudden we run into a roadblock.
We're not saying that they're gonna We're not saying they're gonna tank. What I'm saying is watching that team play against Buffalo in a hostile environment, losing on every fucking aspect of the ball, making mental errors, the coaching staff not calling the fucking challenges, a shitty game plan. Okay. That's fucking concerning, Sturch. That gives that right there 3 games away from the end of the fucking season in a chase for the NFC East and a possible 1 seed. And we're gonna go, oh well, at least the Eagles lost 2. That's not the sign of a fucking good team, bro.
I would say, let me say something. Let me talk about that Eagles game for a second. The difference with that too, Sturch, is they were in that game. I mean, we got fucking destroyed. But forget that. We won't even say that. What I will say this is Philly should feel the same way as Cowboy fans about what me and Bret are saying. They should feel that about the Eagles as well. Because you don't lose a game like that. You just got embarrassed on national fucking TV a week before. You have a chance to fucking
2 weeks in a row before.
Yeah, you have a chance to get your hands on that fucking division again and pretty much win it, and you go out and lose to fucking Drew Lock. Yeah, they're not a Super Bowl team right now either. Sorry. They're just as much as a Super Bowl team as we are. So using the Eagles as an example is fine. It's fine.
So
now, once again, the Eagles they can make it to the Super Bowl, and yeah, we can make it to the Super Bowl. But I think both fans should be concerned after both of those losses.
110%. I'm not saying that we're going to go into the playoffs and just steamroll over everybody. I don't think that's a possibility at all. I think that every game's going to be close, and everything that we do going forward is going to be tough.
Sir, nobody's saying that you're saying we're going to steamroll. What all we're saying is this type of a loss this late in the season, okay, and how we lost, it's a fucking red flag, dog. It's concerning.
Okay,
it's not just,
I got a question for you. I got a question for you.
Because the Eagles lost. We're just looking at it objectively.
Fine. I get that part, and I get Keith's part about the Eagles. Now, take San Fran for example. Okay, their final 3 games right now. You got a blockbuster main event on Christmas night against the Ravens, right? You got the Arizona Cardinals, I believe, and then they finish with I don't even know who. Whatever.
The Rams, I believe, right?
Fine.
They finish with the Rams, and they have Washington. They don't have Arizona. They have Washington.
Okay.
49ers have Washington. Yeah.
I was thinking of the Eagles.
Yeah.
So let's just arbitrarily pretend that these big bad 49ers get the shit kicked out of them by one of these teams. I don't know who. You would say the Ravens because they're really good, but let's just pretend arbitrarily that the Rams handle business, or the fucking the Redskins. I don't know. Sam Howell goes nuts. Are you going to feel the same way about the Niners?
I would feel a little. Yeah, I would feel, but I would feel a little. Yeah,
you got to take a week by week, man. Look,
a little better.
That's what I'm saying. It is a week-to-week league, right? It is, because just for everybody that's off the Cowboys right now, which is basically the entire national media just salivating, waiting for us to lose a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, those guys are all in on the fact that there they are. There's those Cowboys. They're ready to fucking crumble.
They could be right for the wrong reasons.
Fine, I agree. But what I'm saying is
that okay, we clinched the playoff. That's great. That's fucking great. Once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. Look what happened to the New York Giants, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Anything can happen. What I'm saying is the way that we're playing right now, after this game, for us to be up here and then fucking tank so bad. It's not like we were killing it on defense and the offense couldn't get going, or it's not like the offense was putting up points and defense couldn't get going. It's not like, we fucking was scoring on special teams.
Do you think the Cowboys
we got our ass kicked in all aspects of the game?
I was there. I'm well aware, but I'm saying, do you think the Cowboys have enough time to, in 3 weeks now, with obviously Miami and whoever, whatever else, Miami, Detroit, and Washington, do they have enough time to sway you the other way, saying, you know what, this team is actually built? It's not that I'm
swayed. Again, man, why are you so extreme? Think like a fucking
talking
scientist.
Super Bowl, bro. You're talking Super Bowl.
Like
that's extreme.
No, I'm saying think like a scientist, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Think like a fucking financial investor that you're going to buy a piece of property. Look at it that way. No feelings involved, all right? Right now, if I were to buy what I felt is going to be the best fucking developing land, I'm going – the Niners look the best right now. Right now, I mean, again, it's a week-to-week thing. We're not talking about Dallas's potential, right? Fuck the land analogy. Just stick to this objectively.
This was talking about their potential.
This was a very concerning loss. The way we lost. The wheels fell off the fucking wagon, dog. On arguably, to me, they were playing the best football in the NFL up to this week. I mean, across the board.
Okay, so really quick, I got an analogy, okay? It's kind of like the N-word. Listen, this is the deal, okay? Hear me out. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen, okay? It's not going to happen. I mean, it might happen. If the 49ers, let's go through the 49ers and the Eagles right now before we get to the Dolphins, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If the 49ers lose to the Ravens I'm calling it here. They're going to lose to the Rams in LA that last week because the Rams are going to need that to clinch a playoff spot. And the Rams are not scared of that fucking team, bro. They played them pretty well the first time they played them. They lost it in the fourth quarter, but that game was close.
So Keith,
right
are you saying there's a shot at a 1 seed?
I am for Dallas or Philly. Now, Philly is going to, there's no fucking way. No way DeVito beats them next week in Philly. It's just, it can't happen. It can't. All right. And I'm not just saying that so it does happen. No, it's not going to happen. But I'm telling you right now, don't sleep on Arizona. Arizona's been trying. They're not taking shit. And let me tell you, those players, they can give two fucking shits that they made the playoffs. Okay. They're playing hard. And what people don't realize about players, they're playing for the next season. They're playing. They want to prove that they are not honest, that they're not shitty players on a bad team. Even for the head coach, people think, oh, the head coaches aren't going to tank anymore, dude, because that goes against their legacy. It goes against their record. It goes against their future. Yeah, exactly. It goes against their future job. When they're bringing up a head coach's record from previous seasons, they're not going to say, well, he did tank the last 5 games for this team and that GM. They give two fucking shits. Arizona at Arizona, that's the game that I think they have the most shot in losing. I know it sounds fucking nuts, but I like the matchup with Kyler Murray and Philly's defense. And then, of course, DeVito the last week has a shot. But just scratch next week. It's not going to happen. That's my opinion. Wow. My opinion, I say it goes, if 49ers and Ravens 50-50, Rams are going to win that last game regardless. So
you think the Niners got at least one more loss in the tank?
Yeah, for sure. But it won't matter. They need 2 for us to catch them.
I don't think there's much to me. I don't see a path to the 1. I mean, I know there is a path to the 1. I just don't see it. The Niners would have to slip up twice, which I don't see. But I do see. So now, if Arizona beats Philly, and then they beat the Giants twice and we win out, clearly that's us. If we tied with a loss to Miami, we got a better conference record and we would get it, right? Because the loss would come to Arizona.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So it works in our advantage to the Cowboys that the last 3 games are NFC games for them.
Yes, absolutely.
So technically, talking Bret, we'll bring Bret back into this. This game is not a must win. It's not. However,
for the 1 seed it is. For the 1
seed it is, yes. Yeah. So let's talk about Miami real quick. Tua and the Terrifics, who have been labeled as the Cowboys of the AFC. They have. I've seen it in multiple reports that they're steamrolling some shit teams.
Fair comparison.
Yeah, they're steamrolling some fucking dog shit teams, but then when they hit a skid all of a sudden in the wrong times, like Tennessee, like their other losses that have come against winning teams, right? Obviously, they have the track meet that is. Obviously, it's not a good look for the Cowboys to give up over 200 on the ground and then face the best rushing the fucking offense in the league. Not a good idea. Not ideal, if you will. But like, I think, and Keith mentioned this last week, I believe, that much like the Jaguars game, a Cowboy away game in December in Florida may not feel like that much of an away game, right, Keith? Is that fair?
No, we're gonna fill that fucking stadium up, dude. Trust me.
Yeah. The only reason why I think that might have been the case for the Jaguars because they, not as appealing, but with Miami rolling the way they are as far as record wise, I feel like they're not gonna like just sell their tickets off.
No, I mean,
again, it's also Christmas Eve, so people are like, I can't go to this game. And that's the reason why I'm not going to this game, because that was the game when the home and aways came out without knowing when they're going to play. I was like, I'm going to Miami. I've never been to Miami before. I need to be there for that game, blah, blah, blah. But then obviously it drops on Christmas Eve and no dice.
I had tickets, man. I've been offered 5 tickets already.
Really? To the Miami game?
Yeah. Box.
Well, next year we're going to use whatever plugs and sources because I feel like the Cowboys will be going to Vegas. That's just me. But anyway, Tua, break it down, Keith, obviously, and kind of make your pick along the way.
So in case these are the teams that they beat. So listen to this, bro. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Chargers,
Dog shit.
New England,
Bad.
Denver at the time, 70-20 is bad. They stepped it up a little bit, but they still might not make the playoffs.
They put 70 on them, so yes.
Yes. The Giants,
Boo-hoo.
Carolina,
Dog shit.
New England again,
Horrible.
Raiders.
Middle of the pack, but still shit.
This is not. This is the Raiders of
pre-Antonio Pierce.
Yes.
Okay.
Jets.
Okay.
Washington.
Goodbye.
And the Jets.
Wow.
Not one fucking playoff team that they beat.
So now who are their losses against, Keith?
Now this is the crazy thing. Ready?
Titans.
Well, we know the Titans. That was the last one. Buffalo.
Playoff team, potentially.
48-20. Buffalo beat them.
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Playoff team.
17. I mean, they're getting pounded, not just they're not close games. And Kansas City was a close game that they lost 21-14. So what I did was, because I was very interested in
the
teams
basically like our fucking schedule.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah,
but,
that's why I call them the Cowboys of the AFC.
Yeah, but I meant, look, technically we and we have 2 blowouts as well. So now we do with
Same
Buffalo.
team.
Yeah, but if I went to the what's it called? To their but we've actually bro. The Rams are in the playoffs right now. We beat them. Rams would be in the playoffs today if it started. Seattle's tied for the playoffs. Man, we haven't beat as shitty teams as they have. We got some teams.
Correct.
So I wanted to see the teams that they lost to and just look at where their defense is ranked. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The teams that they lost to and the defenses that shut them down, we're right there in that top 10, all of us. We're like number 5 right now. Philly's number 6 or 7 now. I mean, like, if you look at that, what the defenses that they lost to, we're right there with those kinds of defenses. All right. Now you flip it to the offense now. And if you look at the teams that they beat, right? It's
bottom feeding defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something we are not. Okay. But and you look and then you look at Miami's defense, bro. I mean, Miami's defense, they're ranked pretty high, by the way. They're like 6 or 7, but a lot of that is against fucking Zach Wilson, against some of the shittiest fucking offenses. All right. I mean, and you want to wrap that up. They let a rookie in Greer fucking pass all over them at home 2 weeks ago.
Who?
Will Greer, whatever the fuck his name is, not Greer. The Tennessee quarterback. What's his name?
Was it Will Greer with
Levis.
us?
Will Levis. Yeah.
Sorry, Levis. I didn't mean.
I was like Will Greer. No.
Will Levis. Yeah, Will Levis. But yeah, they let him pass a rookie like that who's had shitty games, by the way, except that one.
He's got a cannon, by the way.
I know he does. No, he's going to be a good quarterback. And not only that, Tennessee's defense was ranked. I want to say they're ranked like 26 in that game. The Dolphins did not have one drive that got them a touchdown. It was all by Tennessee's mistakes, fumbles, whatever it was. And then that's how they scored their touch. They could not move the fucking ball on Tennessee. After what happened with this defense and how they were fucking humiliated, Miami's going to come out and think they can run. And Etienne he scares me, bro. Etienne is a rookie from Texas A&M.
I'm scared. I'm more scared of Mostert.
Nah, dude, the young, fresh, he's good. But the young, fresh rookie he's from Texas.
It's just always, there's always one.
Exactly. This guy does scare me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. He's going to run like
it's
his
either,
fucking.
It's either this way, Sturch. It's either the rookie that's getting the young guy or the old guy that has one game left in him and he just fucking runs all over us.
But I truly believe that after what happened in Buffalo, we know the Cowboys defense knows that Dolphins think they're going to be able to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And the quote blueprints out, right?
Look, it ain't going to happen, bro. And I can see Etienne breaking here and there, but they're going to have to be dropping back. They're going to have some passes. I see, and I know that does scare me with Tua does have a quick release. But I can see mistakes from him. I think our defense is going to be too much for him, man. I do.
Really?
Yeah. And I think our offense matches well with their defense. When I say matches well, it's a better matchup. Miami, whenever they've went against good offenses, the Chargers put up 36 points on them. The Eagles put up 41 points on them. So I like that matchup too. I think it's a good, and trust me, once again, us losing to the Bills and the way we lost helps us in this win. So I say the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game.
Score?
I would say something like 34-20.
That's convincing.
Yeah.
34-20. 14-point win on the road against a very good statistical standings-wise team.
And I went back and listened to all of our predictions because I'm a loser. And
how's our records?
Ever since the 49er game, I have not gotten one prediction wrong.
Okay, well, again, and I said it in this episode,
but
the Cowboys have not lost back-to-back games.
One. You've gotten one, and that's it. Well, now you've gotten two. You've gotten
two wrong.
You and I were the only ones to pick the Eagles to beat the Cowboys in Philly, and we got that right. And then you were undefeated until the Bills game. Yeah,
should have went with my gut.
Right, you've picked the Cowboys every single time to win.
I know.
Well, according to on paper, Bret on paper, Ernst has him at fucking 14-0 at this point of the season, according to preseason predictions.
Since I've been in Vegas, right now I'm winning.
All right, that's all.
If you're 78%, I mean, I've only been wrong 4 times.
Are you really?
Guess what?
Are you picking at 78%?
Yeah.
Well, he's doing it with 10-4. So if you go with the Cowboys every week, well, you got to do it with the spread too.
Yeah, all right.
We've covered all 10. I think the Seattle game's the only game we didn't cover.
But it's the same thing with the overs. I met a guy out here, bro. He's a fucking guru. This guy's like 90 years old and he used to do bookmaking and explained everything to me about percentages.
Sit down. Let me talk to you about this.
Yeah. Well, again, he was like anything. He's like anything over 9 points, you got a 78% chance. But then he breaks down the percentages. And guess what? I'm going with the fucking Cowboys again.
Yeah. What do we got? Score, dog.
Well,
I don't know spread. What's the spread of this game, Keith? Do you know?
It's 2. Down.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. No, 1.5. 1.5. We're underdogs by 1.5.
Dogs. Okay.
Yeah, we were a pick 'em before.
It's 1.5 now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All
right. So,
then we'll go with 1.5.
Cowboys win. Do we cover?
Here's the deal. I told you this loss is very concerning. It's very concerning to me because, we were playing the best football. We weren't maybe the best team, but we were playing the best football. And now that you can't go from that extreme to this extreme. If it was a gradual in the middle loss, I mean, it was just fucking wheels off the wagon type shit. But again,
with that being said,
if I'm looking at the potential and what we're capable of doing, I was going to say, without my brother researching it, Dolphins haven't faced a defense like this all year. And on top of that, Tua has a quick release, but that's also, our cover backs, we're on them, bro. We're on them. And
I mean,
just
we
like
haven't
in the
even,
Seattle game,
Keith didn't even mention Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. Is he going to play, though?
But the thing
of course he's going to play. He sat out last week because he was looking forward to this week.
Oh, jeez.
Exactly.
No, but here's the thing. He's looking to go against the best corners in the NFL, tandem-wise. Now, obviously, if Diggs was healthy, this would be even more interesting. But Dallas has been locking down receivers, man. Even against Seattle, like he said, the ball was, even though they picked on Bland, he was there, man. Those passes were fucking money, And
those catches were great. And those catches were good.
Yeah,
too.
those catches were amazing. It's the same thing with the Eagles. I mean, goddamn, dude, we locked down arguably the best receiving core in the NFL. We have that capability, right? So Tua's used to not having to face that, not to mention our pass rush. I think Dallas is going to be fucking pissed off, and we're going to get right back to where we were. And I could see us winning by 2 touchdowns as well. I would say like 28-10 maybe.
All right. I mean, you both have.
I'll go 20. What did you say, Keith?
31-20, right?
Yeah, I'll go
31.
20. I'll go 24-10.
Yeah.
All right. So both of you have
24-10, I'll go.
14-point wins. So clearly, and I wouldn't have said that the Cowboys haven't lost back-to-back games since 21 if I didn't think that the Cowboys have responded pretty well to adversity, meaning their loss, right? And not all the games have been blowouts as far as their losses are concerned. Last week, yes, after Arizona came back and won, after a couple other weird losses throughout the course of the last 2 seasons, we came back and won games big, right? This matchup, and I do favor in Keith's analysis of it as far as the Dolphins haven't played anybody. And some could say the same shit about the Cowboys, even though I don't agree with that because of the fact that they, almost beat Philly and then they beat Philly, right? And that's somebody. Miami literally hasn't had to say that about anybody, right? They can't say well, we almost beat that. No, you didn't. I think Tua is definitely going to have a couple moments where Tyreek Hill's going to get behind our guys. It's a matter of just when. Hopefully it happens in garbage time. I do want to say that Cowboys do respond well. I'm not taking a 14-point win. I hope your guys are more accurate than me.
I think our defense will score some points.
But I got, for the first time this year, if I'm not mistaken, that the winner of this game, and the reason why the winner of this game will be none other than the rookie phenom himself, Brandon Aubrey-Maddock, will kick a game-winning field goal to win this game. That's how I see this one playing out. I don't see it. Trust me, Christmas Eve, do you think I want this fucking stress? I already got a plan for the big guy to come down my goddamn chimney. I don't want any of this stress. But I think it's going to come down to that. I think the defense does give him fits at points. I think they are pissed off. I think they heard the people. I think Micah has gone basically on record now with his podcast. Again, do I agree with the fact that he has a podcast? I guess I'd rather that than him being out at the club or some shit. So cool, have a podcast. But he went out there, called out the entire national media on Monday.
Right,
he's like, all you guys do is prey on our losses and wait for people to fail. And when we do, you can't wait for that shit. So now I think they have something to prove. I think they get it done. But I just think it's a little closer.
Right. And another thing I want to say is I pray that Jalen Waddle doesn't fucking score because I hate seeing old rich white people fucking waddle in clubhouses. That is the most frustrating, awkward, annoying thing. Oh my God, the owner. Oh, look, and he's trying to, and his wife, who's had I don't know how many facelifts, is next to him doing the fucking same thing. It's like,
replacement hips and shit. God, this hurts a little bit, but I'm still gonna go with it anyway. All right. Well, look, if that's the case,
so look, man, I'm
saying if that's the case and the Cowboys win, and all eyes at the link for Tommy DeVito on Christmas Day to hopefully take down the Eagles at Philly. Likelihood is a little rough.
I was concerned. This loss was concerning, but I think we're gonna bounce back and just ride, dog.
Bret is a walking contradiction. I'm sorry.
No, man. No, you know what it is, Sturch?
This is so concerning, but the Cowboys are going to win the next game by 14.
No, I'm saying it's a game for game. I'm looking at, does a Super Bowl team lose to a fucking team that's on the bubble of the playoffs like that? That's what you got to ask yourself. Not if we're going to go far in the playoffs. We've gone far and won a playoff game for the past 27 years.
Come on, Keith. 92, 93, 95. Did we not lose a couple shitty games where we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but nothing that looked like that, dude.
All right. Well, listen, I just needed a little backup.
We had a loss in 92 against the Eagles on Monday night. That was pretty bad.
Boom.
We were both 3-0. But listen, hold on. I want to say,
not going into the playoffs.
How about this, bro? How about this? This is crazy. When is the last time? Because I was trying to do my Rolodex and I got it right, believe it or not, but I did double check because I could not remember the last time we lost in Miami. We play very fucking good there. You know the last time we lost in Miami?
Don't tell me.
Thanksgiving?
Yep.
No, it could have been Thanksgiving.
We lost the one on Thanksgiving.
In Miami?
Oh, in Miami. No.
In Miami.
Jay Fiedler was the quarterback.
Nope.
It wasn't Romo. Romo fucking diced him up.
He did.
In
All right,
Miami, was
Quincy Carter was the quarterback.
Was it Monday Night Football?
It was Monday Night Football.
Where the fuck? Brett's
I don't
coming
know
out
if
of
little
left.
Starch. What year
field.
were you born again?
85.
Yeah, little
Hold
Starch
on.
wasn't even around yet. Come on, bro.
That's the last time
had
we lost
to
to
have been-
Miami in Miami.
Yeah, it had to
Yes,
have been
in Miami.
either. Hold on, let me fucking guess. Was it the Danny White game when Tony Hill
Yes.
that miracle reception and then Dan Marino hit Clayton or Duke?
Yes.
That's
So,
the last time we lost
That's
to
the
them.
last time we lost in Miami. So here's the crazy part, Starch.
In Miami.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, in Miami. It was Orange Bowl. We've never lost in the new stadium. So if you look at that season, 1984, we had to win one fucking game to get to the playoffs. One! And the last two games, okay? Tom Landry hadn't missed the playoffs in the Super Bowl era, I don't think, right, bro? I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. The game before that was against Washington with Joe Theismann and John Riggins, and we were beating their fucking ass. And they came back and beat us in the last fucking fourth quarter, bro. Bret started crying.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Don't you remember? And mom came in and I'm sitting there and I'm on the couch. I'm all pissed off. And she's like, why can't you be more like your younger brother? And then I start crying. And I was like, that's fine. All we got to do
It was a disappointing Christmas on many levels.
So all we said is next week we beat the Miami Dolphins. We're in the fucking playoffs. We're down 21-7. We come back like Bret said. So basically Tony Hill got pushed out of bounds. But when Danny White threw the ball, it got tipped. If you get pushed out of bounds and it gets tipped by a defender, you can come in and catch the ball. So that's what he did.
Oh.
It got tipped. Tony Hill got pushed out, but he came back in, caught it, ran for a touchdown, 21-21. We're going fucking nuts. We're going to win. There's no way. There's a minute and 30 seconds left. It's going to go to overtime. Fucking Marino just fucking throws one of the greatest strikes you will ever see on a post pattern to Mark Clayton, bro. Gone. No playoffs for us. First time we missed in I don't know how many years.
I will say this as we close.
That's the last time we lost to them in Miami.
That is kind of fucking. That's ridiculous.
I mean, you only get that on this show, not that other network.
Yes, agreed.
Serge, getting back to the point, just because you think just because you find that concerning to be a Super Bowl caliber team to lose like that to a fucking 7-6 team or whatever Buffalo is, right? Doesn't mean that we're not going to beat the Dolphins. It doesn't mean that, I'm not saying we don't have the potential, but you can't be indifferent to that. You think it's all or nothing?
I don't think it's all or nothing. I just think that I've been one track minded with this team in the last couple months where I'm just like, this is a good team. This is a good team. We're gonna fucking get in the playoffs and we're gonna see what happens. Not like I can't believe we lost that. This isn't a good team. It's just not gonna.
So let me ask you this.
Let
me ask you this. So let me ask you this: if let's say we lose 3 out of the next 4 games, and because we're guaranteed a wild card, we're in the playoffs. So that's all that matters.
No.
Whether you're the second seed or the 6th or the 7th, it doesn't matter.
If we're the second seed, I'm telling you right now, I'll guarantee this on this show. If we're the second seed and we win the NFC East, we will be in the NFC Championship game in San Francisco.
Okay.
We'll get there for the first time in 94.
Getting back to the point, Serge. Getting back to the point.
What I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying to me. You're saying that you can't have it both. I get it, but what I'm saying is, I have not wavered. Even my brother noticed it when I was watching the Buffalo game, where they were down early, and I was like, "It's okay, it's okay." That's how
what
much.
What does that got to do with? But okay, but Sturch, that doesn't.
What I'm saying is a loss like that
is how you
what I'm
feel.
saying is, no. It went a loss like that to Buffalo.
I feel like
has not changed. Has not what?
I feel like we're dating.
A loss like that to Buffalo does not change my confidence in the current team as constructed. Is what I'm saying.
That's fine.
That's
fine.
all.
And bro, your fucking analogy about the strong 4, all right?
Yeah.
You can't do that.
What do you mean?
You're stunning because you're stunning. I mean, you said that. No one can picture you as a strong 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I couldn't take it serious.
You show me and Sturch up with our big faces on here every fucking time he puts videos up. His eyes are just fucking glistening.
I'm saying is that, yeah, whatever.
Anyway, I will say this.
I'm very excited. I'm really curious to see how the Niners play, especially against the Ravens. I mean, that's going to be that's an interesting game because I mean, look, Kansas right now, this is how I see it. I see it as San Francisco, Dallas, and Philly, same team. Okay. I'm seeing it as the Ravens and then Kansas City. That they're all like Kansas City, Dallas, Philly. They're all the same. This fucking Niners and Ravens game is going to say a lot to where
like if the Niners go out there and just handle business the way they've been handling, then I'm like, all right, you know what? Don't play the rest of the season. Like everybody knows where this is going.
It reminds me a little bit too of when we were in our dynasty era. And again, not to go back to 1985, but the way the Chicago Bears were now, again, you're not looking at the Niners as being undefeated, but the Bears were so dominant. And that year was, I think that was the year, Keith, we didn't make the playoffs.
What year? I'm sorry.
That was the year of that Miami Dolphin game.
The 1985
was the Bears year.
No.
Was it? No, that was 84, 85.
Because we made it to the playoffs in 85. Yeah.
Yeah, 85, 86, that Bears team. I mean, everybody's playing out scenarios, seeing, okay, well, if we get here, anything can happen. Like the New England Patriots actually made the Super Bowl that year when the Dolphins were fucking phenomenal. Okay. Anything did happen, but the Bears dominated. And, I'm really curious to really see what the Niners can do against a team like Baltimore with Debo in.
We'll find out on Christmas night, and then we'll find out in February.
Before you guys go,
I got something too, but go ahead.
All right. Before you leave, I want to give everybody a Christmas present here. Okay.
Oh, wait. Time out. Is it a fucking Jersey Boyz ornament for the tree?
No, God. Which came to us in fucking March. I threw that shit right away, bro. I threw it right away. I was like, that was awful. Anyways, so
shit.
Anyways, no, here's my treat to you. And you guys are gonna think I'm insane, and it's okay. But I follow patterns in the NFL, and there's one thing that happens almost every fucking week, and I'll bring it up with when McCarthy got fired from not McCarthy, sorry, Wade Phillips got fired by Green Bay. The next week, who did we play? You guys don't remember. We played the Colts against Peyton Manning.
I was just going to say
John Kitna, and we won that fucking game. We were 14-point underdogs. Okay.
Fuck yeah.
Because our coach got fired, and teams always step up when their coach gets fired because they want to say we weren't the reason.
Right.
I don't give a fuck if they have Easton Stick as their quarterback. The Los Angeles Chargers, money line, 11 points, are going to beat the Buffalo Bills. Now, I know it sounds crazy. What I would do, here's my Christmas advice to you. Don't bet this if you have to buy presents for your kids, obviously. But if you want, yeah. So
just say that to Sturch, Keith.
whatever money you put on the money line, and money line means you're going to say they're going to win without the spread.
What do you want, dog? Let's do it.
Oh, look at this motherfucker over here.
Come on. All right. Whatever money you put on, back it up by taking the Chargers with the spread, just in case Buffalo squeaks out.
That's called hedging your bet, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. So that's my Christmas gift to everybody. You're welcome.
And
go ahead.
I'll wrap it up with this. Obviously, everybody have a very Merry Christmas. Hopefully, we get back here on Tuesday, the day after Christmas. We're talking about a Cowboys win. Maybe we're in first place by ourselves. Who fucking knows, right? You never know how it's all going to play out. But I will say this. You want to talk about gambling? You want to talk about what to put your money on? If the Cowboys come out with their blue jerseys, I got a bad feeling about this. That'll do it, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm solo over here.
That'll do it, ladies and gentlemen, for another episode of the Jersey Boyz Podcast.
We got to do a little of this. We need a little of this magic.
We need DeVito to get his head out of his ass.
Like this.
Yeah, head out of his ass after that New Orleans game.
Hey,
we need him to bounce
throws
back a
the
little bit.
ball like unbelievable, this kid. Have you seen this fucking Tommy DeVito kid? Fucking unbelievable. Hey, I seen this kid throw a football. I fucking cried. It was unbelievable. Have you seen it? His agent?
He's not a fucking.
It really is his agent. Everyone thought it was his friend.
He looks like a fucking leprechaun. The guy's a dunce.
Dude, I made the comment. Verzi fucking said the same
Are you still
thing. He
recording?
looks like he.
I'm not done yet. Yeah.
Hold on, don't you hang up yet. Verzi said this, man, too. It looks like he bought his an Italian costume at the Spirit Halloween store. His agent.
For Dave Sturchio, Bret, Ernst, Keith Ernst, this has been another episode of the Jersey Boyz Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Merry Christmas, everybody. Go Cowboys.
Hey, this is Tony Soprano, and you're listening to Jersey Boyz Podcast with your hosts, Dave Sturchio and the Ernst Boys. I mean, I could give a shit about the Cowboys. We're in New Jersey. These guys got balls being Cowboys fans in Jersey. Anyways, enjoy. Or whatever.
How about this, Cowboys?